Guys, welcome back at Omation again today. Welcoming Alan back.
Hey guys, nice to see you.
So today, as I said before on the way here, the Sony range of projectors have just dropped. I think it's just out of shot there. I'll add in some pictures. The Sony WX,
5000, yes.
or was it XW?
Definitely.
WX or XW5000ES. The important part here is 5000ES. For those not knowing Sony ES products, this goes way back to when I started. I've got a big love for anything Sony ES. Don't confuse normal Sony with the ES. Do you guys know what the ES stands for? L?
Elevated.
Extra special. No, but in all seriousness, elevated standard, guys and girls. That is what it stands for. It is almost like what AMG does to their Mercs. It's just a elevated standard. So I'm very glad for these to be in, because we needed this in the market.
I think so, yeah.
There's definitely a gap. I mean, we have the Sims, we have the Barcos, which for my favorite is the Barco, but the price.
Correct.
It is only for the elite of the elite theaters. Then what I always go for is the Epsons, still bang for buck, but we need that little step up, which used to be JVC, but now also we have Sony, and
Correct.
that is why I'm here today. This being their entry level, the 5.
This is the entry
5000.
level. Correct. There are two other models where you have the 6000 and then the 7000, and as you go up they are adding more and more features, obviously bigger optics as well, better contrast, brighter laser sources, that kind of stuff. So this is the base model that they have at the moment.
What I like about this is the base model, but it is
phenomenal.
no base model.
The performance is fantastic.
I'm going to keep referencing JVC because these are head-to-head competitors.
Yeah, I think in the market they are the guys that are competing against each other.
But the problem they made, in my opinion, and I've bought that projector, is the NZ3, which is their entry unit, but it's honestly, it's not good. It's small, it doesn't do what it does well. So if you're going JVC, from the 5 upwards, the 5, the 7, and then we're going to the expensive 9. 5 and 7 is where you're going to be. Yeah, what I like what Sony did is on the 5000 they didn't really cut any of the stuff that is necessary for insane image. They took away the motorized lens shift, which I like, but I mean, if I have to now decide against Epic Picture or motorized lens shift, Epic Picture it's going to be.
Sure. Well, think about it. You're going to set up your projector. You're going to set up the lens shift and get everything perfect on screen. Maybe once or twice, maximum 3 times in the lifetime that you have the projector. So as you said, I'd rather go for what is important. It's the picture processing, quality of picture, the really good contrast ratio, the motion processing, which is awesome.
Let's touch on that quickly. The motion processing really is awesome. I'm going to put in that little bit where we played around. No, that was on the contrast.
That was on the contrast ratio.
That was on the contrast. So the motion processing, we were playing around over a bit, silky smooth. I'll put in some fast scenes that we were watching from Prey. I could not pick up any artifacts, anything going wonky.
Correct.
Very, very good.
Correct.
Most of the times on your TV or whatever, when you add that motion processing, it does something weird.
All the artifacts, and it's trying to guess what's next.
So hats off to Sony for doing that and not introducing anything else that might skew up anything. Then what I wanted to touch on is what we did on the dynamic HDR. That is what it was. You'll see how we put it off and then we played around, putting some things back. I at first thought the medium is great, but then Alan pointed out, look at the back window, and we freezed it. And as we go up with that, you can see the HDR gets more, but also the picture gets blown out of proportion. So
on the light,
on the light,
the
yeah.
little details around the lights and the lamps.
Yeah, so what HDR does, for the guys that do not know, it does the dark and the light pieces of the scene. It will enhance and bring them out to pop more and give you more contrast on dark. And previous projectors normally couldn't do HDR very well, but now Sony has sort of started getting to this very well, where you can play around with that.
Correct. So that enhancer that he's talking about, not only is it in the brightness of the actual projector, but it's also the colors as well. So the more the more the scene requires certain colors to pop, this enhancer will actually bring those out and kind of control them in a way that you'll never clip the actual color, but still enhance the color in the specific scene. As required by the original contenters, the content creators. So yeah, it's a nice feature. We played around with it, and we were looking at the lamps and all the little wires and stuff between the lamps, between the actual light and us. They had all these different things. The one was glass with a whole bunch of bubbles, and the other lamp was it had all these strings. So obviously the higher up we went with this setting, the more those little details disappeared, but of course everything else came out and popped and looked amazing, right? But for us it's about accuracy. So when we toned it back down, in the super bright scenes or the super bright areas, you could actually see all of that detail come back.
100%. I picked up on it straight away, because a few times I wanted to say, because I love my color pop.
So do I, yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to say I need a bit more color, and then we will go to like just the next focus scene. Is like, boom, there it is.
There it is.
Colors there, it's all there. So they did that very well. Then going on to A Greater Showman, we did that scene as well. I'll add in some stills. You could see the detail on Yu's shirts that I've really never actually noticed.
I've never
before.
seen that before.
Yeah, the fine weave of his shirts.
Correct.
See if you guys can see it in picture as well. We could see that. And if it was overblown and white, that would be all mush. You wouldn't have been able to see that at all.
What's that scene called again? When she sings?
Jenny Lynn.
With Jenny Lynn.
Jenny
Lynn scene, yeah.
Yeah.
There are a few things that I've never seen before in any of the other projectors. So, as you're saying, the actual shirts, the details on the shirt. There is a scene where the two characters are holding hands and the camera's on the side of Zac Efron. You can actually see the fine stitching on his white shirt. The edge, the actual sewing on it, which I've never seen before. And also on Jenny Lynn, while she is singing, not only can you see all the detail on a white dress with a white light on it, but that satin material doesn't get blown out. You see every single shade of white, and also the shadows that it creates as well.
Skin tone.
Her skin tone was
From
crazy.
her face going to her neck and shoulder bones.
Yeah, you can see all the veins. And
you can also see it's like natural skin color.
Ultra natural.
Yeah.
So while there's a massive bright light on her, it's absolutely natural all the way through. Very, very, very good color.
And how
natural as well.
How quickly this projector deals with the light going from dark focusing to light.
Super bright and dark, yeah.
On the Epson, on the Auto Iris, I can pick that up. It's still good, but I can pick up where now it's a light scene, now it's a dark scene. We can see it dimming in and out. On this, I couldn't pick it up once.
Yeah.
It was dark light, dark light, dark light. I didn't have that where sort of like where your eyes readjust. It just did a very good job of doing that.
Correct. It does have a really good contrast ratio. Amazing. So the blacks are excellent. The super dark scenes are excellent. One piece of technology with the 3 color sensors. I actually watched the whole thing on this projector and the series of projectors and why they went the route with the 3 color. With the 3 color sensors, with the phosphorus laser light source. A lot of projectors have one light sensor, and obviously it allows everything to come through. Also, you do get projectors with a color wheel, right? This has got 3 light sensors and a phosphorus wheel. What happens in those single chip projectors with a single chip source, if you're displaying a color on a screen and you wanted to hit a specific peak brightness, let's say the lumens output on this projector is 2000, and you want to get that brightness on a specific color, you won't actually hit that on different colors. You'll only hit that peak brightness on a white screen where it has all 3 colors mixed together to produce that white. That's when you're going to get that peak brightness through the single color chip. With the triple color chip that this has, you can hit any single color at that 2000 lumens. So when it comes to bright scenes, it handles absolutely beautifully, because now it will project blue, red, and green at the peak potential that it can output these colors. Not only the white that's popping out, everything else pops as well, which is quite cool. As we're on the other chip that I was talking about, the single light source chip, the white's going to be extremely bright, and then all the other colors are going to be muted because it can only show one color at a time. You know, kudos to them for actually doing the 3 chips in order to get all the colors equally bright, which is quite nice.
And at the price. And at the price.
Yeah.
155,000 South African rands.
Correct.
Basically, when I checked online, I think it was $5,000 or $6,000.
Oh, I haven't checked the American price.
More or less there for the American guys working in dollars. So again, with the JVC price the same, but yeah, this is cheaper. This is cheaper by about 100,000 rand locally. Yeah.
For its competitive model.
For its competitive model, which I think is very cool.
Yeah.
For any of the guys wanting any of these, hit me up. We can arrange a demo. I'll be getting some of them soon as well after we've done the whole move. But for now, we can organize here. This system is also the same as my system, being the Bowen Wilkins CT.
Extremely close.
CT7 system. Yeah, running the same A1H Denon. I listened to a few demos in here now. I know we're going off topic to the audio, but brilliant system. And always, guys, if you're putting a good projector, you need a good sound system.
Yeah, you need to back it up with a good sound
There's
system.
no need in having a huge image and then not having the audio, and vice versa.
And a good screen.
And a good screen.
Because the reflective surface bouncing that light back to you has a big effect on the actual picture. So
Stuart's in our demo here now. Which Stuart?
This one is the SEMA, SEMA screen.
Acoustic transparent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Microphone.
And this is white, eh?
The Perforado, the white. Yeah.
Gain?
I think this is a 0.5. I think
0.5 gain.
Yeah.
Okay, very cool, very nice. The one thing I picked up on is black level is good. Could be slightly more black level, but again at this price point.
Yeah, at this price point, yeah, to get it darker than that.
No, I mean, again, 150,000. It sounds like I'm playing down that as a cheap price, but once we get into this game, it is a cheap price. It is a good projector at the price.
It's excellent, yeah.
I mean,
so the image processing, how smooth it is, how it deals with it. I haven't seen another projector at this price point that deals with it that well.
Yeah.
We know that in the TV world, Sony TVs tend to be the king of processing, and it looks like they've brought that knowledge and experience across to the motion processing on these projectors.
Also in the film world, I mean, they use Sony cameras.
Yeah, of course.
It's a pity that Sony has shied away from a lot of the stuff that they do. I mean, they used to be huge, but now it's either very cheap or more premium.
Yeah, there's a huge gap.
That middle has fallen away, where this sort of falls in that slot a bit again.
Yeah.
I know we don't really get Sony receivers in South Africa, but they've also stepped up their game a lot, bringing back some of the ES stuff. So it looks like they are starting to realize that there is a gap in the market. People aren't always wanting the super cheap stuff. They don't want the way expensive stuff. But for us, mere mortals on a budget, but still wanting, not
it's a good
compromising
quality.
performance.
Yeah.
So this is where this slots in. And I'm very happy because it's going to fill that gap in my line. I don't need to go for the Epsons. I don't need to go for the Sims or the Barcos. Nice in the middle.
100%.
Nice in the middle. You can do a R1 million cinema and spec this.
Easy. Yeah.
So that is the point.
So you'll have the picture and the sound that is kind of equal. I've seen a lot of people go crazy on the cinema, the sound, the seating, even going as far as buying a really nice screen and then cheaping out on the projector.
Spec Optoma, are we going to mention that?
And it literally brings the whole feel and the performance and the experience of the whole cinema down.
Guys, there's nothing worse. I see these high-end cinemas, and then I see the projector that's been spec'd, and it's like, why?
Correct. Yeah.
Why? But now this
like the projector
answers.
was an afterthought, which is quite sad.
Yeah.
You know, 'cause
We just
they've
want a
gone
big
all out.
image.
They've gone all out on sound. They've gone all out on acoustics, on aesthetics, on the room itself, and then the pictures, it doesn't match up. This is a full 4K native 4K projector, 16:9. Every single pixel that is going to be on the actual disc that you're going to be putting in, or on a full 4K movie that you're going to be putting in, will be shone on that screen. By the way, that was their true intention for this particular chip, is to get every single pixel onto that screen, the light of every single pixel on that screen. So true 4K, 60 hertz. It doesn't do 120.
It does do HD at 120.
1080p at 120. Correct.
But 4K 60 is what it does. So
correct.
Gaming, it's still a very good gaming projector. But you can't do 4K 120, 4K 60.
Pretty good lag.
And
as
I think 20 milliseconds or 22 milliseconds.
Lag,
To put that into comparison, the JVC is 2 times slower at in the 40 milliseconds. Where this is a very good gaming projector. I'm sure on their next run, they might bring us a 4K 120. But I think that's going to be like at least another 2 or more years out, because this is not an old projector.
No, these are brand new. These are brand new.
So, but also thinking again, guys, if we are doing gaming, we are doing them on big TVs nowadays. Are you really going to be gaming in your cinema? You might.
It depends.
The option is there.
Depends on what they have. But I mean, if you're a competitive gamer, of course, you're not going to be doing. Even to the point where you're looking at an OLED screen, right? Because of the lag and the latency. Casual gaming, all day on these screens, and the experience will look unbelievable.
Can do it, but at $2 million.
Yeah, I mean
that's where we.
That's all the features. Yes. That's all the projector. Right?
On the Barco, they actually had professional gamers come and test it, but at $2 million.
Correct. So remember, the Barco side, the reason for that is they do a lot of projection for simulators, actual real simulators, whether it's in the F1 industry, whether it's in the aerospace industry, so they have to do projection at the lowest latency and of course the best fidelity. But as he said, they are
comes at a cost,
of course.
Comes at a cost.
Correct.
Laser light source, phosphorus. So I did not check the specs, but it should be about 20 to 25,000 hours before you need to worry about anything. Same as a TV, basically. So that's basically 2 movies a day for like 15 or 16 years. You will run to a next spec or next model before it gives up the ghost. And the difference is where you have a bulb light source, if you're running that at a good level, 4 to 5,000 hours, you're going to need a new bulb. And I've actually noticed in your first more or less 100 hours, you can see dimming.
The globe actually degrades over
like
time,
on my picture when we did that demo last week, I need to sort of upping my contrast now because I can see it happening. So that is where laser sort of gets into a good groove. I've noticed lasers in the past, especially budget lasers, that you do suffer on certain things, like again the black level, but this does a very good job of bringing that into focus. I'll add in stills again of black level, different demos. We did Jurassic Park scene, I always do. We did The Greatest Showman. We did If was a very good demo.
The picture on If is quite excellent, very natural, and the colors. Passenger.
That was great for black
the
level.
Spacewalk.
Actually black in HDR, because you had the black and you had the lights on the helmet in the face.
Yeah, all the specular highlights were nice and bright.
That was a very good demo. I'm going to put that onto my list.
Natural skin tone. You can see the hair inside the dark helmet.
Loved it.
All the detail, and
then
scene.
Also on the Stewart screen, I would love to see what these do on a grey screen, if it does any difference. I'll test that when I get my units in the new year now.
Yes.
When are the 6000s and stuff like that coming in?
Look, we are looking over the next month or so in getting the bigger models coming in.
Any idea what the price difference is going to be?
I don't.
No idea.
I don't yet. Unfortunately, I don't. So we've started getting the 5000s in. We do have stock of them, and this are the first ones that we've been installed and obviously testing. And it's really good. It's really good. I mean, we've got other brands of projectors, some of the best brands of projectors in the world, and this is really good at its price point. I mean,
I say I prefer it to the entry sim. Am I way out of reach? Not the Barco.
It's I would.
The entry sim.
I would probably buy this over the entry sim too.
Yeah, and save yourself like more than half of the bucks.
Yeah.
And spend that on. But again, it comes to apples of apples.
Correct.
What are you going to be doing? Are we speccing a Bowers & Wilkins CT7 system? This makes sense. It comes in on budget.
Perfect.
But if we are going Ascender or we are going Monitor Audio Synergy, maybe then start looking at going up one. So again, look at what you're going to be spending, look at your total budget, and this is where we come in again, guys. Hit us up. We will sit down, go through all of this. We've done this so many times, tried and tested. We know where we can save some, where we can add some to help you guys not waste money. Because in this game, wasting money, it comes with the territory. You buy this, I don't like it. You buy that, I like it. And we've sort of done those mixing and matching.
Yeah, he's done, and we've done all the school fees. We've gone through, paid all the school fees, and kind of know the combinations that work.
Yeah.
So just speccing things to get the maximum for your actual budget. You know, the maximum performance in picture in your environment, maximum sound and performance within your limitations and space.
Well, we say that as we've tried and tested a lot of Sonys, but we haven't. This is the first time.
Well,
But I can promise you, for the money, in local currency now, this might change for the guys going in dollars or euros or wherever, but locally, this price is very close to the Epson LS12000. I think that is just touching on 100. So this is about 55,000 Rand more expensive. But from what I've seen now, and I mean, I've tested my own 11,000, I've tested Anthony's 12,000 in the same room. This was now not in the same room, but I could see where I would spend the more money on this.
Correct. You know what I noticed?
You've seen Ant's one as well.
12,000 on white scenes, it gets a bit fuzzy.
Same on my 11.
It actually. It washes out on the white scene, so the rest of the colors around whatever's white and popping out kind of gets washed out, where this isn't. This is very much like a good
less
TV,
washed out,
like a TV, you know, where you've got the bright white, and then you've got all the colors the way they should be,
natural and pop.
Yes,
not washed out.
Yes,
black level was good.
Yeah.
Contrast was good. We haven't touched on the most important point. Detail.
The details.
The finer detail on this was insane.
Yeah, I mean, you were talking about seeing the patterns on the guy's shirts, on Zac Efron's fingers while he's holding hand. You can even see the tiny little hairs that he's got on his finger. I've never seen that before.
Yeah, maybe
on
you
a
should go
projector.
do something about that.
Like all of us. Like all of us.
Yeah.
But I've never actually seen that. When Jenny Lind was singing, you could actually see all the veins in
Yeah,
her
the
neck
detail
and-
was immense. How did they
Yeah.
do that? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I know how they did. That's their processing.
Is that the processing?
So
Yeah.
their processing technology that comes from the way up unit that X
7,000.
No. Actually, check this before. They're X something one. It's the R1,000,000 projector thing
Right.
that looks a lot like the Barco Boxy with that big lens.
Yes,
So
yes.
they implemented that technology in there first,
Mhm.
same as that Bauer and Wilkins does. That trickled down.
They trickle
into
down all the
all
top,
of this.
yeah.
So it's the same processing. They just sort of tweak smaller things, and I'm sure they unlock things that you can use on the bigger ones that they did not. You know, they locked it on the smaller ones. But yeah, that same technology
the
has just
actual
trickled down.
processor. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm
very, very cool on Sony's behalf for
Yeah.
doing that.
Awesome.
I think that is it. Guys, I think we touched on all of it. If we did miss something, drop down in the comments below. If you own one of these, I did take some nice pictures. I haven't actually.
Very big remote, also backlit
Let's quickly check that.
as well. Very true to Sony though, hey? Very much a
Much
Sony remote.
nicer remote than
Yeah.
on the Epson or
Yeah.
on the JVC. Sometimes that is where the guys don't spend money, is on the remotes. Is this by motion or by button?
Button.
Oh, button. Cool.
Yes.
By motion sucks because
Mhm.
every time the bass hits, the light goes on.
Yes.
And you don't, because if that's there and the bass hits,
It turns on and distracts you.
who did?
So what I do
NAD
like
did
about
that.
this remote is a lot of the functions that you want to dig into while setting up a projector, or even on the fly, there's physical buttons on the actual projector,
Yeah.
on the projector,
Motion
on
flow.
the actual remote control. So you don't need to constantly go through all the menus. You can literally push a button and adjust the brightness. You can push a button and do.
I'm seeing a 3D button here. I wonder
3D
if
button.
that is just.
Well, maybe.
I don't think this has 3D.
I haven't seen if it can handle 3D. It might. I haven't.
I'll go and look into that
haven't seen
while
it,
I'm
but,
editing this video,
yeah.
because when I checked the pros and cons, 3D was not an option on here,
Mm.
but I'm seeing the button, so it might just be like we're not going to change the remote for one button, or something that we overlooked, and it might be able to do 3D.
So
I'll check.
yeah.
Yeah, and the guys were saying con is the aesthetics. I don't mind the aesthetics.
No, I don't mind.
I
the
actually
aesthetics.
think this
Yeah.
TIE fighter,
Yeah, very Star Wars.
very Star Wars look.
Yeah.
It's going to fit in your Star Wars. If you have a Star Wars back wall,
Correct.
opportunity missed if you don't add some wings to it.
Correct. I know internationally they come black and white, but as far as I know, we're only going to be bringing in the black. So it disappears within your space in your theater.
Let's face it, it's going to be for theatre. So it's going to be in the back in the box. Your ceiling is white now, but most of the time the ceiling is darker and you won't notice it at all.
Yeah, you won't notice it.
And
yeah.
also, selling this stuff, black is what sells. I do have the odd client that wants something in white, but that's going to be more for living room environments.
Yes.
It's hardly
Multimedia.
ever for a theatre setup.
Correct.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Guys, I hope you liked it. If you did, please like and subscribe as always. Hit me up. This will be in store in the link down below. Go there, have a look. Any questions you have, remember, if you buy anything from me, service comes with it. You can ask as many questions as you want. If you are local, I can come and help you set it up. If you are international, I'm actually thinking of starting a program next year where if you guys sort of buy into a subscription, I'm going to start selling. My service comes with that subscription. You can hit me up. What system do you want? We can spec the system, what works, what doesn't work, almost more or less of what we were saying now, and you guys can buy into that, but that will be for next year. But for now, what I'm saying, if you do buy from me, the service comes with it for you local guys. Thanks again for Homation for having us
Pleasure, man.
and
Always good to have you.
sharing the new Sony products. Hopefully this is a good start of things to come from
Yeah.
Sony and Homation
I'm excited.
and Home Cinema King in the mix as well.
Correct. Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Guys, stay safe.
Stay
Until the
safe.
next video. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.